Hello everybody, this is the family tree again. If Julie can just take a step or two back and she'll look at the tree as a whole. And this is the tree that had apples on that nobody liked, and you can see now it's got about 30 or 40 grafts on it. There are just one or two that need replacing because they didn't survive. So that's what we're going to show you next. Okay, what we have here is the branch where I'm going to do the grafting. You can see this is the graft which died last year. The variety was St Aylred, which is a Leicestershire variety, and it's not a particularly strong variety. And the shoot underneath has grown, so I'm going to graft into this new shoot. So what I have to do first of all is to prune that off. I think I'll do it about there. This is the piece of graft wood I'm going to put on there. So the first thing I need to do is to cut this. And then I'll put a notch in here, rocking the blade carefully so the knife goes in. And then I've got to prepare the piece of graft wood as well.
Now that's a lot thinner.
Yes, it's going to be quite tricky to graft this one. It's easiest to graft if the two thicknesses are the same.
Okay.
But it is possible to do it. Just trim it up. So,
don't cut yourself.
Okay, can you see it?
Yeah,
if I do it here?
yeah, just a bit to your right.
About there?
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
Okay. It's a little bit thin, so it's tricky to do it. And now I've got to put a notch the other way.
Bit higher.
There?
Yeah.
Okay. You can see it's a very, very fine piece of wood, so I've got to be careful.
Yeah, this wouldn't be very good if you've got Parkinson's.
No, or if you're a beginner in grafting,
Yeah.
it'd be a bit tricky.
Yeah. Or you're an alcoholic. might struggle a bit with a shaky hand.
Now, is that going to go in? Just open it up a little bit with the end of the knife. Ah, there it goes. Now I'm matching it up on one edge so that the cambium layer of the cutting, the scion, is lined up with the cambium layer of the lower part. And that seems to fit. So I want two buds, so that's 1, 2. Cut that off.
Notice you cut at an angle.
Yes, this prevents water from gathering on the cut surface.
Okay.
Because if that happens, it can go mouldy.
Right.
And since it's a very thin piece of scion wood, I've now got to use some insulation tape on that. I use insulation tape for thin pieces of scion because it needs to be very tight.
And I assume you take this off later.
Yes, this has to be taken off. If you remember last year, some of the grafts grew so quickly that they got throttled by the tape. So, can you see that okay, Julie?
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
So I'm going to pull that quite tight when it's gone around once. You have to take a lot of care with the taping. It often takes longer to taper graft than it does to do the actual joint. But it's very important that the joint is waterproof and insect proof. Usually with a graft like this I wax it, but it's difficult to operate a wax burner up here, so I'm going to rely on some special tape that I've got to seal the top. Just put a bit more of this black tape on, this insulation tape. Okay, that's that. And now I have some special waterproof tape here which sticks well to itself. I'm not sure what it's made of, but it's very, very stretchy. There we go. And it's almost transparent. I think it's parafilm. I know it as buddy tape. So this is going to go over the whole graft now, taking the place of the wax. And look how it stretches. And if you put this on carefully, you get a completely waterproof joint. I think that's it.
Okay, thank you, Nigel.
We might like to have a look at some other parts of the tree now, so if Julie takes the camera off, we can have a look at how some of them are growing. Tree. Most of the grafts are quite happy. They're all separately labelled. All of these are likely to have some fruit this year. But on the left hand side of the tree you can see there are several fails. They're in yellow. And I was considering grafting these again, but then I looked at the overall shape of the tree and you can see we have a nice substantial branch here. This is Laxton's Fortune. And we've got a big branch of Discovery here, big branch or two of Whittock Pippin here, and here we've got Crimson Gold. So I think we probably don't need to regraft these three. I think we've got enough branches already.
Because they're bigger apples.
Yeah, they are quite big, yes. And there's not really space. If we get more branches coming here, it's going to crowd these.
Okay.
And they won't get enough light.
Yeah.
And then we've got this one here, which is Broinsdorfer. This is quite a vigorous branch too. So I think these three old grafts, I can just cut them off and we can forget about them. And the tree then is reasonably well balanced. You can see two more fails at the back. But again, I think I probably put too many grafts on. And so losing those two doesn't really matter.
Okay. Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
Thanks, Nigel.